Well, hello, Glue Troopers, and welcome back to the Tarbus, where I'm finally back after 8 out of 9 days on the road. And Creighton, I started my diet back today. Well, hello, Glue Troopers, and welcome to the Tarbus. Just got back after 9 days, and of which I only had 1 day off, and have 6 glorious days off, including today, so maybe I can get some model building done. Today was tax day, so that took that, and I have things to do tonight, but hopefully tomorrow I'll get cracking. Now, as you guys know, as we approach the end of the month, we're trying to get the pictures together for the watercraft build, and I also want to make sure that you understand that I'm working at the tail end of the month, so I'll probably won't get this one out until a little bit after the 1st of next month. Maybe if you get your pictures in a day or two late, they can slide in under the wire. The next build will be the airliner build, and the airliner build and the Canadian build are going to be due at the end of May. So end of March, watercraft, April, end of May, Canadian build, and the airliner build. And then after that, it'll be the Tom Daniel inspired build. And I've been pondering what I'm going to do, and I am going to convert this half track into Patton's Power Wagon to be a companion piece to the Rommel's Rod. And TD himself told me he's looking forward to seeing what I do with it. And the only thing I'm missing is a couple of headers, and I need that. But you know what? I can buy parts packs. So that's no big deal. Some of these cars are going to be parts donors, but I'm not going to ruin the cars. I'll still be able to build the models, but I'll be spiriting parts out of them. My roughish idea that I'm still working at first, I was just going to extend the front, put like an office in back of the half track, just kind of extend it, maybe stick a couple of headers up. But then I realized, you know, Patton did march through France, and the Bugatti there, that front end would look real good on a half track. Headers. This is kind of where I'm going. And now, one thing that TD told me was that it helps when you're trying to design kits like he did to sort out a story for him. He had a whole backstory for Rommel's Rod and everything that sort of helps you flesh out what you're trying to do with it. And so you're just not randomly sticking parts on. And the story of this one that I'm coming up with now that I've kind of got an idea where I'm going to go with it is Patton finds out about Rommel's Rod, and of course Patton and Rommel had a professional rivalry above being just the fact they were on opposite sides. I mean, Patton was desperate to beat Rommel, and you know, so he finds out about Rommel's Rod and he decides he's got to have something better. Of course, they're moving through France, so he has his mechanics, you know, they get some Bugatti parts, American parts. He wants an American vehicle, but he wants that European look, and that's sort of how it comes to pass. And I've got some ideas how I want to make it look and everything. And of course, once I start really cutting on the plastic, then I'll be able to firm things up more. But that's kind of where I'm going with it. And well, I said these cars wouldn't be damaged because I'm going to be part of that. The Bugatti is going to, yeah, it's going to get chopped. So's the half track. But the others, if I take any parts from them, it probably won't be an external part. So, but then you just never know. By the way, I guess you guys probably heard that Akira Takarada passed away, and he played Ogata in the original 1954 Godzilla movie. And that movie, as I've told you guys before, I think is one of the greatest films ever come out of Japan, probably second only to Seven Samurai. And I'm sure I'll get some blowback on that, but that's just my humble opinion. And it's the first kaiju movie I ever saw, and it just, traumatized me, but I was 8. But to this day, I'm still impressed with a lot of the technical work they did on it. But I don't think the movie would have started the entire franchise the way it did and been as popular as it was if it had not been for the human characters. People like Takarada gave the human characters a lot of depth and kept the story from being campy or anything. It was, or some silly monster movie. It was actually, if you've ever seen the original Japanese Godzilla film, it's a very well made film, but it's got a lot of dimension to it. And I believe the investment that the Japanese people had in the movie, and even to a certain extent, a limited extent, the American audience later on, even though they saw a very different cut of the film. But I think that had a lot to do with its staying powers, that it got off to a really strong start, so it wasn't just a one-off. And that's my humble opinion. Well, I was talking to my wife about it today, and a glue trooper had sent me these Godzilla Mad Libs. So I decided, well, let's try one. And this is, of course, where they tell you stuff about the character, but they leave certain things blank and you fill it in yourself. And oh yeah, you're gonna know what word she put in there. It says, insert adjective or plural or something like that. So this is what it says, and I'm sure you'll figure out her words. Kaiju are part of a special class of monsters. They're more than just your average husband. In Japanese, kaiju translates roughly into strange man. Kaiju can be up to 3 times larger than a Tyrannosaurus max. You can find them on land and in the dennies, and even in large space. Kaiju can be amphibious creatures, mechanical creatures, or gooey creatures. Although some kaiju are peaceful, most are fierce predators with a taste for red meat. Kaiju's favorite hunting grounds include Longhorn, populated cities like Caracas, when destroying restaurants. Kaiju use their humongous strength and special powers like eating. Kaiju are also territorial. If they encounter each other, will burp to the death. When fighting each other, kaiju won't hesitate to knock over any pizza pans in their way. If you see kaiju, don't just stand by and watch as if a nature documentary on Max's Models Planet unfolding in front of your belly. Instead, drop everything and fart. Okay. Well, I pulled Kong's Thronester off the shelf today, and I was thinking about pirating parts of the engine for the Pat's Power Wagon, but I think a parts kit, some blowers are really the way to go. That'll give it more of the Tom Daniel look. So just again, one more time, recap. End of this month's watercraft, and we have 2 months to finish the Canada build and the airliner build, and then 2 months after that, so let's see, this is in March, so April, May, end of May, the Canada watercraft build, and then June, let's see, April, May, June, July, I guess that'd be the end of July for the Tom Daniel inspired build. You can do a Tom Daniel kit if you want to, that would be acceptable, but the idea is to make something of your own that is just sort of in the Tom Daniel fashion, so, something rotted out, but we're not talking about something like Kong's Thronester that's a completely comedic. We're talking about something that could really be made to work to drive, and it doesn't have to be a car. It can be a tank or a plane or a helicopter. But you guys are familiar enough with TD's work, and if not, we'll talk about it on the live stream and get you some inspiration. And guys, that's where we're at for now. Take care of yourselves, and as always, model on. So, to begin with, first off, I want to point out that actor from the original Godzilla movie very possibly would not have become the icon that it did. And if you're hearing some scratching noises, the winds are blowing outside, and I believe the trees are you know, rustling against the branches against the top of the tarbus. At least I hope that's what it is. Anyway, in honor, so in honor of, and welcome to the tarbus. I am back after what I do, 8 out of 9 days on the road. And if you're wondering why I'm patting everything down, I'm looking for my phone. So I think you'll be able to figure out, now, for those who aren't familiar with Mad Libs, they write something, but then they'll just put a blank. And of course, hey Steve. Oops, hold on. Just to let you know, you're on camera, or you're on audio.
Oh, hi.
I'm recording.
Okay.
It's Steve, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hang on, I'll pause the camera. Where's that button? There it is.